Welcome to the Builders of Authority podcast, a show committed to helping you build authority for your brand. In the realm of business and personal branding, authority stands as a cornerstone. Authority isn't built overnight, it's built over time. So join us as we build something remarkable together. And now, here's your host, Adam McChesney.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Builders of Authority podcast. We are live here at Adventure Unknown in Fenton, Missouri. If you're in St. Louis and you haven't been out to AU yet, would love the opportunity to show you around. Send me a message on social media. We'll schedule a time so you can come up here, see the incredible space that is Adventure Unknown, all the different amenities, meet some of the amazing members, and then also be able to see where we do the podcast each and every single week in partnership with Trueline Media Group, formerly Punchline Productions. They're the ones that really do make this possible, makes it easy for me to just show up, have amazing conversations with awesome guests, and then from there you'll be able to see the space, meet their team as well. So send me a message so we can get that coordinated. Today I'm joined by someone that I got connected with a few years ago. I don't actually think we met in person yet until today though, but we've done some business together as well, and I'm really excited to have her on because I know she's got a lot happening with multiple businesses, multiple brands, and it's going to make for a great conversation. So my guest today is Ashley Fitzgerald. Ashley, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Nice to finally meet you in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So tell people a little bit about kind of who you are and then all the different brands and fun things you have going on.
Yep. So Studio Epik is a multidisciplinary project management team. And so we oversee three divisions of Studio Epik. We have the interior design, we have the remodel division, and then we also do custom homes. And what we have done is we have created a cohesive transfer between the design and the build process by having a team of interior designers and construction designers that can then support each of the projects that we perform. Whether a client is looking to actually do the build out process with us or not, we can still support those design aspects. But we do believe that in the process of large scale construction, which is primarily where our bread and butter of our business is, that it is the best process to incorporate both that design and build element, not only for investment savings. Your home is a really important asset, and we want to make sure that those processes are seamless and a smooth transition.
And when did you guys start the company?
So we have been around for almost 11 years now. Our business started off humble beginnings. We really didn't have a true plan, but really kicked into gear about 5-6 years ago and stepped into saying, we want to strive above what we see as industry standard, and that's kind of where our direction took us. And from there, it just, our business and our brand has taken a life of its own, which has been really neat to see. It has its own character. It has its own presence in the community. We see people coming to us for advice, which is neat to see. Yeah. And even just advice from our team members, because as we've acquired talent, we have team members that are specialized in furnishings. We have team members that are specialized in trim carpentry or in the project management side of things. It's been really neat to be able to collaborate together to bring those final products to our clients.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you talk a little bit about like the community aspect. So how have you guys done stuff in the community, showed up for the community, and then seen that obviously benefit the company as well?
Yeah. So more recently, we did some collaborations with Rankin Tech School. So Patrick did some collaborative work with them. They actually came to our studio and he did some training with the local Rankin kids, and I say kids, they're actually young adults, but they had an opportunity to have some real world experience. So that was really nice to be able to give back and assist, seeing the trades in real life applications, because a lot of times, even in trade schools, they're still very book heavy. They do some field work, but it's actually getting out in the field and understanding, especially in the remodel world, the unforeseens and being able to adapt and overcome obstacles that might arise through that.
And then one of the other things you talked about as well is kind of like as your team has grown, I know we were talking about that before the episode started too, as your team has grown, going from kind of, hey, you guys are starting out, it's kind of your thing, you're doing everything in the business. Talk to me a little bit about what that evolution has gone from, both from a standpoint of, hey, it's great to have these specialized team members to, hey, oh yeah, we have to find the right people, build the right team, and be able to trust them to own this aspect of the business.
Yeah, Adam, that was really, really hard for me. So for anybody that is listening or watching and knows me well, they're rolling their eyes right now because I am a complete control freak. So I will admit that.
Yeah.
But so that has been a hard process for me. But seeing and understanding and putting aside pride to say, you know what, I'm actually not doing this as well as somebody could if this was their one and only job. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, we are trying to give our all because we're emotionally invested into our business. And when we try to give our all into everything, we get spread thin. And not only are you spread thin across your business, but you get spread thin across your family, and you're not doing what you need to do. So it's almost like you have to make that decision to step away. But before you do that, you have to create processes that allow for things to be implemented. And then from there, the minutia, the little details, you can allow your team members to make those decisions. That's the empowerment from a business owner's perspective. But before we can do that, we do have to have processes in place, and they do have to make sense, and they do have to be clear. So that is really where our business has grown, in that we've created processes and put leaders in place, but with parameters.
Yeah.
So they're able to be successful. Because if we just throw them to the wolves and say, you know, I want this mug to be white, but at the end of the day, it's not the right shape, it's not the right consistency, it doesn't hold the coffee warm enough, long enough, we haven't given them the tools that they need.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you say that, because I think every business owner has gone through that, where they're like, oh my gosh, I want the control. And then you bring people on and you're like, hey, here's your whatever, go make it happen. And then what they end up doing, you're like, that's not what I wanted, but you never really kind of set the right expectation in the beginning. And my team tells me all the time, like, if I work on something for an hour, I'm like, oh yeah, hey, if I have an hour to do it, I'm going to be really good at that hour. The problem is that needs 20 hours of attention, and it's not going to be able to make sense in my schedule. And so how have you found some of the right people, right? I'm sure it probably just didn't happen overnight. You probably have a process and system, but how has that evolution been?
So for us, it has been it takes time. And for a business owner that is starting out, you have to understand that it will take time to find the right people. Because it comes down to, not only does, if you're trying to capture, let's say 30 people, you hire on 30 people, you could say maybe 10% of them at the end of the day are going to be the right fit.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of casting a net and then pulling it back in, figuring out what you got, you know, and then throwing again, and being okay with that, not getting emotionally drained from that process alone.
Yes.
But then from there, also in the interview process, I've found that understanding emotional intelligence, understanding what key aspects this person has a passion for and what they are also capable of. I've learned to analyze people for, I know that you can do this. You may not be doing it now, but I see, you know, I can see the building blocks inside of them. Their wheels are turning. They're, you know, they have the aptitude and the drive. That's another big key piece to get there. So that, I mean, finding people that have the right chemical makeup to get to that point is a good piece too. Trainability, that's something else that we look for as well.
Yeah. So transition a little bit. Who is kind of like, as you've grown your business, like who is the ideal client? I know you have this separate brands, but how have you kind of tried to figure out like, hey, in the beginning, right? You're like, hey, we can help everybody. And then you realize like, hey, there's a certain probably niche or subset that values what you guys do and trusts you to do your thing.
So we have a couple ideal client profiles. The number one would be a client that is in their home. They would have been there, 15, 20 years maybe, or they plan to be there long term. But there's, a couple key things about the home that just doesn't make sense. They love their location. They love the home. There's an emotional attachment to it with family history. It might be on a family farm. We do a lot of rural projects as well. And so there's sentimental value to that. So a lot of times we're preserving a story. And in those cases, that's a really ideal client for us because our team can create and build on that emotional attachment. These are clients that might be completely gutting that main floor and opening up a kitchen and create more livability, more family memories, more opportunities for family growth. The other ideal client is a client that's coming to us, and we've had some really great opportunities recently to build some really nice homes. And those are great opportunities for people to say, you know what, we want to grow our next phase in our life literally from the ground up, sentimentally and literally. And that's where our team can help transition and build that dream with them. So for us, that final product is a result of that time and dedication that our team takes. But sometimes, the other scenario would be a client, they love their home. They just need assistance. Like they just got everything freshly repainted and the floors are all good still. And maybe, main living area, they just feel like none of the furniture clashes. They've got something from Wayfair, Home Goods, Trips, and a Target run here or there. And just everything is kind of cluttered. And that's where our designers can come in with knowledge of, hey, this is the right kind of furniture that you need, the right kind of fabric. This is how we're going to lay it out. We're going to pull all those in. And again, still same setup, a client that's looking and values the process and the memories that come in and along with that. And then they're also valuing their home at the same time. So it's not necessarily a client that has funds, that are endless. We deal with what we call the B word, budget, quite frequently. And that's okay. So what our team does is we advocate for our clients. We create a project goal that aligns with that budget. And from there, we help kind of show them that process and walk them through it.
Well, and I know we were talking before the episode, kind of like how the new brands kind of came into place, or how everything kind of segmented. Walk the audience through kind of where you all started, and then why you saw the need, both from your client aspect and maybe also voids probably in the marketplace and things that you guys were going through, where you're like, hey, if we just do this, we can do it really well.
So we started just as your average remodeling company. My husband hired couple guys. We ran a couple crews, and we would take on just about any job. And it was profitable. It was good enough. But I, with my background in business and his goals for more and growth, to align those, we knew that we wanted to kind of step into more. And there was a need in our industry, and there still is, for quality contractors, quality design and build firms that bring value behind it, that bring good processes. Construction industry, I'm sure you're aware, you deal with a lot of blue collar companies, don't always have the best processes in place to implement and fulfill projects in a timely manner with quality. There's, concerns with client success. And that's really where our focus has been, is being client focused and then team focused as well. So from there, we decided that we wanted to expand our design division. And then with that, our project size has grown. So our average projects, the smallest size that we typically take on is like a $50,000 to $75,000 project. And then from there, we do a lot of six-figure projects. And then obviously home builds these days are minimum $500,000. It's gone up recently.
Yep.
But that's really where we've seen a lot of our change, is that we know that to fulfill the need for our market and where we are at, that those larger projects are where people are missing the support. Changing out a bathroom vanity, a quick door change, that's really not where we operate. We operate up at a higher level. And for us to do that well, and provide a competitively priced model, we really have to have larger projects.
Yeah. And that's where a lot of people are like, hey, I want all of the projects. And you're like, no, you'd rather probably have more of your dream client, your dream project, your dream fit, and just more of those, but less of the overall, hey, hundreds and hundreds of projects going on at any given time. So how have you guys branded yourselves, marketed everything from the standpoint that, hey, we used to kind of do everything. Now it's, hey, we have these different kind of subsets of where we can help people.
So storylining, that's a huge thing. So any type of social media presence, any type of information that we put out follows that storyline. And our team, our social media people, myself, because individual social media presence is a big thing.
Yep.
So we follow a storyline, and we have that scripted, and then we pull from that every time. So every time something's put out, from there, you have to talk the talk and walk the walk. So anytime that we have any type of branded material, it's consistent. The words that we're using, that visibility. The next thing is photography. That's a huge thing. People don't understand. Your image is huge, and how you present yourselves. I even hesitate to go to the store in sweatpants sometimes because, in a smaller community where we are surrounded by people, if I'm in their $1 million home one day and the next day they see me at the grocery store, there's something to be said with that. And I'm not saying that we should all be focused on materialistic things and, heaven's sake, I have children and, we are still very humble family people, but at the same time, there is some sort of consistency there. And then the last thing would be, just sticking consistent with it. And for us, although we have had some rebranding, people know the name Epik. And that's the consistency through there. So not faltering from that, the root of the tree at that point, and just staying grounded in that and sticking with that. That's kind of been where we've seen our success.
That's awesome. And I'm sure it didn't happen overnight. No.
And it definitely doesn't happen overnight. I mean, you could say, I've posted 5 times this week and I'm not seeing any. You're not going to. It's going to be the one post, and it always is like the most awkward one. Like one of our most viewed posts was a cell phone picture that I took of all of our project managers in a massive shower together, all clothed. And it was hilarious. And we're like, this house really does have a massive shower. Look, these are, 180, 225 pound men all in this shower together. And people loved it. They shared it. They thought it was hilarious. It got, tons and tons, probably 7 times what our normal views were. And here I am, trying to make sure we have totally perfect pictures and everything else. So I say that the cohesiveness is good, but sometimes the shock and awe is a little bit of what grabs people, and then the rest follows from there.
100%. Well, one thing that I think you said right there, and the reason why I chuckled about the overnight thing is because when we work with a lot of contractors, right, we get 3 to 5 contractors typically reaching out to us every single day, and the first thing that they 9 times out of 10, they always say, I need more leads. I need more leads. I need more business, right? And they never fix the messaging. They never fix their brand. They never fix what's actually wrong. They're never willing to go post about their own business or to build the social media channel, right? Yeah. Because they're only worried about like right now. And I'm not saying like you have to obviously get leads in the door to make everything else work. But from what I've seen, right, and hear you talking and seeing your stuff and your brand is that it's something much bigger than like right now in the moment. It's building on this thing that, again, especially when you're working in these higher end projects, like people don't wake up one day and say, oh, hey, I've been thinking about this and I waited to the last minute. I need to do this tomorrow. They're typically thinking about, hey, I've been thinking about it for a while. I've seen their stuff, and then they're reaching out probably as well. And so I think so many people they never fix the actual problem. They're always chasing the next lead, not worrying about the bigger picture. Right. What would you say about that?
I think that one of the biggest flaws for just a contractor or and if they're trying to get into a larger scale would be that I don't think that they realize how long their sale process really is. And just because somebody calls and says, hey, I'm interested in a basement remodel, that doesn't mean that they haven't been talking about this for 2 years, right? Yeah. So they've been researching and thumbing through things and getting ideas, and then the wife starts a Pinterest board and then starts bugging the husband, and then the husband's like, well, you have to get rid of all your Christmas decorations before that happens, and then they have a fight, and then, there's more and more and more that goes into that. Then they start researching together. They talk to a couple people that they know, so there's all of this process. So if your messaging isn't consistent for those 2 years leading up to that, you may be out of the running. And I love what you do, and I love how your team's strategy works together with the company. But you can't perform a miracle and snap something together, right? And just like we can't build a house. So same type of setup. It's really important that our anyone that's in this industry understands truly the time and cost for acquisition. And it's heavy sometimes. It's more than you want to hear that it is, but that's the game we play. Yeah.
Well, I think every business, not even just contracting in general, but every business has to go through that aha moment where they realize that, where it's like, oh my gosh, I knew that was going to happen, or I heard about this, but I thought there was a better way to do it. We even went through it with our auto glass company and even up to selling it. When we were talking to the sellers, they're like, this is such a unique business, because when we started day one, we built the website 2 years prior to launching, did all the SEO. So it was already on the first page of Google. Day one, we had like 47 phone calls. And then the first month is like 400, but we only had SEO for like the first year driving all the business. We weren't involved in the community. We didn't really have a brand. We didn't have all those things. So it's like, as you know, with the marketing and digital marketing, it's like feast or famine. There was no brand there to be able to carry the weight in the other direction. And so even on the other side, people are like, oh my gosh, it's great if I have all this. It's like, no, you really need the brand. The brand's going to be the thing that always comes back and will make the good times better and then save you when everything else falls short.
I always like to think of the brand as your bat signal, right? So that's what you're projecting into the sky. It's just kind of there. But at the end of the day, if you have a rough month here and a rough month there, that bat signal is still up in the sky, right? And you still have to pay attention to it, or the light bulb will run out and you won't know, right? So that's kind of it, billboards, vehicle wraps, shirts, wearing your brand, putting your brand out there, sponsorships. Those are all great opportunities for it. But there's also, you have to put some heart behind it, give it meaning, give it purpose. And again, once you do that, your brand really takes a life of its own, and it starts to touch people's lives and give people thoughts and meanings about their lives. Like, for Builders of Authority, inspiration for entrepreneurs, for Studio Epik, hopefully goals and dreams about their homes and thoughts. And, they can look at our portfolio and start to envision their life as well.
I know you obviously touched a little bit on the client experience earlier, but I'm assuming because you guys have taken such great care of your clients and you focus on working around their budget and putting them first, I'm sure the word of mouth and the referrals has played a big role into your all growth over the years. So how have you guys done that part really well to say, hey, we're going to take care of this one client, knowing that, hey, that's important because we take care of this client, but we do that right, we're probably going to get some additional business on the back end.
Yeah.
From that.
So because we offer what we would consider a full service experience, our clients have a designated designer that not only supports the design process, but then walks through the project with them. They also have a project coordinator and a project manager. And this team of people oversees their project together. So it's not just one guy checking in on a couple subs here and there. This is a dedicated team. These are employees that we have on staff. So these are people that are fully invested in our client's success. And that is the first piece. And then the second piece is the continued care. And every one of our processes falls back on if there is an issue or something arises that is uncomfortable. It could just be a small delay. It could be, a little piece of information like, hey, your light is out of stock. It's not, we're not going to be able to get it in time. We're always looking for what is the best client experience here. And coming to the table with solutions is important.
And I always tell people is like, hey, like, it's not like if something is going to go wrong in your business with your clients, it's when, and it's how you handle that situation and communicate proactively and take care of them. Those turn the people that, maybe were like, going to leave a 1-star review or whatever into the biggest raving fan that you have, that 5-star review, and say, okay, hey, I know it's not going to be perfect, especially in the contracting stuff where, as you mentioned, there's things that are outside of your control that can do that. The client is not necessarily caring about that. They're just like, hey, something went off on my project. And so being proactive and attacking that and just saying, hey, getting out in front of it, I think is the best way to do it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's a quote from Maya Angelou. It's not about what you say, it's how you make people feel. And I think that that's a big piece of it as well.
Yeah.
We really, as business owners, we are under a lot more scrutiny. We are under a lot more pressure.
Yeah.
And people start, when you are interacting with a client, they don't always see the human side behind it. So a lot of times I say, we need to bring that human aspect back to the confusion, the chaos, the questions. We need to have a face-to-face conversation. We need to pick up the phone. We don't need to email back and forth. We need to humanize this concern. And that keeps the client to business barrier that tends to frustrate people sometimes. I don't want to talk to a business. I want to talk to a person.
Yes.
And even though there's a person on the other side of that conversation, there's still a different tone at the end of the day. Like, hey, let's figure out what's going to make sense for everybody in this situation.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference.
It does. Absolutely. So what are you most excited about, as we're recording this episode at the end of 2025? What's exciting for you about the business, about everything you all are working on heading into 2026 and beyond?
Well, really excited about some of the projects we have coming up. We have some really great opportunities. We have some fantastic clients right now that just are spot on ideal clients. So that's an exciting situation. The next thing is just that we have some really great partnerships and collaborations coming up for 2026 that are still under wraps a little bit. But this is just a really great opportunity for us, not only to expand our brand, it's a great opportunity for some of these other brands to build. So some collaborative branding is a great way to, again, kind of continue that message. I will say that, we always want to fully vet those collaborations, make sure that the messaging is still in line and linear with the direction and growth that you want your company to take.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that that's something you should take lightly,
Mhm.
but that's something that we're really excited about. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
I'm excited to follow along. And as we're kind of wrapping up this episode, is there anything, whether it's entrepreneurial advice or marketing advice or branding advice, that maybe we didn't touch on here that you're like, hey, this is super important and it's something that's helped you kind of get through and break through that barrier?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I would say one of the biggest pieces of this, and as a leader in our company, is that once you get rid of all the noise, and that could be like your own head noise, that could be noise from a family member that doesn't believe, what you're doing is the right thing. It could be friends. It could be somebody that used to be a friend. Once you get rid of that noise, you can really start thinking clearly. And I think that that's something that for myself and for our company's success and the branding, that you have to just turn it off and you just have to commit to that. And then once you do that, I mean, your focus, it's almost like tunnel vision.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I need to hear that myself.
Yeah, good.
Because it's tough, right? Because obviously being on social media a lot, having a business where regardless of if you're in contracting or you run a marketing company like we do, like there's so many places where you need to be and you hear so much stuff and you're inundated with it, and it's tough to not sometimes consume too much of it and then also be thinking like, oh, should I be doing more? Should I be doing this? And then you start to get that overload and get that noise.
And it's tough to put yourself out there. I mean, I'm an introvert. So for me, that's been a learning process. And to gain people's respect, sometimes you have to go through and you just have to kind of put yourself out there and see what happens.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in. This was great.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Where can people stay connected with you, learn about your company, all that good stuff?
Absolutely. So if you are interested in learning more about our company or the services that we offer, we even have an online portfolio where you can see some of the projects that we've recently completed. You can go to Studio Epik, that's epik.com, and you can contact us there and set up a discovery call to talk with one of our designers.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again. This
was great. Good one. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you so much for listening or watching today's episode with Ashley. We'll put all that stuff in the show notes. Make sure you go check out their work. It's phenomenal. If you're interested, obviously reach out for a consultation. They'll get in contact with one of their designers. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, share this content on social media. If you're listening on the podcast platform of your choice, make sure to review the channel so we can get another 5-star review. It definitely helps us get out there to more people so more people can hear the content that we produce each and every single week. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the show. And remember, authority isn't built overnight, it's built over time. We'll see you next week.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode. We sure do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you consume podcasts. This way you'll get notifications as new episodes become available. If you feel so inclined, please leave us a review. We sure do appreciate it. Until next time, friends.